Have you ever wondered what is intuition? I personally have had that question many of times. Tried to wrap my head over, so what is it? What is intuition? To help us understand what the actual essence and where intuition actually comes from, let's ask Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji tells us in the Mool Mantar the nature of that one, and says that one is Saibhan. This word Saibhan comes from the Sanskrit word Swayambhav. Or it's written as Swayambhu, and that's two words. So the first part translates to Aap, the Swam, meaning self. And then the next part, the Bhav or the Bhu, is translated then to created. So if you put that together now, then literally Saibhan will translate to self-created. Now the only one little issue with this is when we say it like that, it can almost trick us into thinking that there was a time when that one didn't exist, and then all of a sudden that one created itself, or WhyGuru created WhyGuru at some point and then started to exist. But we've already gone through this in our previous videos, and we learned that that one is Anad, meaning that has always been, even before the beginning of time. Ad means beginning, so before the beginning of time and space came into being, that one existed then as well. So we know then it's not that one appeared at some point. So what is self-created here? Self-created means that there is no external, there is no one else, there's no duja, there's no second person that has given birth to that one, because we learned that from Ajuni, which is also written as Ayoni in the older Granths. So that one has always existed, and meaning is self-illuminated, meaning is completely independent, hasn't come from someone. Everything has come from that one from within, and actually is an expansion of that one. So Saibhan can also be translated to self-derived knowledge. All of the intelligence of that one for creating everything didn't come from anyone else. There wasn't a time when this one WhyGuru thought, wait there, I'm not quite getting this, I'm not sure how I'm going to make this creation work. Oh, let me have a look at Earth. I don't know if these 5 elements are going to actually do the job properly, that Panch Tat Ko Tan Rachyo. But Guru Sahib Ji has said that Jan ho Chatur Sujan, that know that one to be Chatur, all wise, Sujan, all knowing. So in that way, we know that WhyGuru didn't think, wait there, let me just phone one of my friends, or let me phone somebody else to get some ideas about how I'm going to make this happen. So Saibhan can be looked at, this self-contained, completely independent, Satgur Mera Bemohtaj. Taj means when you're dependent on something. But Bemohtaj, Be negates the word, meaning completely independent, not needing anything and anyone else. Completely self-sufficient, self-contained, self-derived knowledge. Satgur Mera Bemohtaj. Because here, the Satgur, the translation, the arth can also be done. That one is completely independent and has that complete knowing and intelligence of this entire creation. So now, let's have a look at how do we know things. So as human beings now, there's a couple of ways that we actually learn about things. And how is that then different to Saibhan? How is that different then to that intuition that people talk about? And remember, when we use such words, intuition, it depends on the interpretation somebody's bringing forward. Somebody might be looking at this word with a certain lens, but what lens are we going to take for this word? First, let's look at a couple of different ways that we learn things in this life, in this world. So as a human being, for one, we receive wisdom from somebody else. When I say we receive wisdom, let's understand that, because there's knowledge and then there's wisdom. Wisdom can be seen as something that somebody has experienced themselves, and then that experience becomes their wisdom that they can pass on to somebody else. Guru Arjan Dev Ji tell us that Gur ki mat tu leh iane. The Guru says, oh Iana, Iana means childlike. Somebody that is innocent and doesn't know and is in that ignorance. The Guru says, Gur ki mat, take the Guru's wisdom. So whatever the Guru tells us is the Guru's experience. When the Guru tells us that Vaheguru is immersed in everything, Atam Ram Pasarya, that Atam Ram Pasarya, that Atma that is within inside of us, that soul that is inside of us, actually it is spread everywhere. Pasarya, there's a spread of it everywhere. Antar, it's inside of us, the light of that one. Bahar, it's outside. Antar, Bahar. What is there? Har, Prab, Eko, there is only that one. Mil Har, Jan Mangal Gai. So we know that the Guru tells us this is the Guru's wisdom. So even now, what I've received from the Guru is actually the Guru's wisdom, is the truth. But for me, until I haven't actually experienced that Jal Thal Mehil Purya Ravya Vich Vana, that within that Jal, within that water, Thal within the earth, Jal Thal Mehil within the space, Ravya is immersed that one, Vich Vana within all the forest. But so for me, at the moment, that would be then classed as my knowledge. Something I haven't yet experienced for myself. So that's one way of learning something. And then the other way of learning something is when I experience something in life, when I learn from this very creation itself that one has created. So let's take the elements. If I now go and touch fire, I learn for myself from my own experience that fire is hot. If I keep my hand in there long enough, it'll burn my hand. Now, that's become my wisdom. I know from first-hand experience that fire is hot and fire burns. I've learnt from first-hand experience that water is wet, that water can be changed in temperature from the sun. It can be hot and cold. So, that's now my wisdom. I've learnt that from experiencing this creation from first-hand. So those are the two ways. But then, what we're talking about here in this video is the third way. When this is a knowing that is beyond. So when we actually get close to that light inside of us, Bhagat Kabir Ji said, Kabir, man nirmal paya, jaisa Ganga Neer. Bhagat Kabir Ji said, and let me tell you here, that Bhagat Kabir Ji can be quite humorous. And within that humor is so much depth, is so much truth. So Bhagat Kabir says, Kabir man nirmal paya. That my mind, it was washed away from all its impurities and now became nirmal. It became without any impurity, became pure. Kabir man nirmal paya. Because it was my mind that was not allowing the light of God to reflect and for me to realize actually what the truth is. But when that happened, when my mind became pure, Kabir man nirmal paya, jaisa Ganga Neer, just like the river Ganges. Bhagat Kabir Ji here just used that as an analogy. And then Kabir Ji say that pache lago har fire. Kahat Kabir Kabir. And this part, whenever I would read it, it would make me laugh so much. But it's so beautiful in the way Bhagat Kabir Ji is describing this. And Kabir Ji says that pache lago. Pache means that somebody's chasing me now. But mere piche laga hoya, as we say in Punjabi. And Kabir Ji says pache lago har fire. He says, who's chasing me from behind is Har, is Vaheguru, is that one. Pache lago har fire. And what is Har saying to me? And remember, what do we always constantly go back to is to say, chant God's name. Repeat the name of God. But Kabir Ji saying, check this out. Kabir Ji saying that God's repeating my name. God is chasing me. There's us here trying to experience, trying to have darshan, have the vision, trying to get to God. Here's Kabir Ji saying, yeah, check this out. God's chasing me and saying my name. So when does that happen in life? Pache lago har fir hai. Kahat Kabir, Kabir is saying, look, check this out. He goes, God chasing me, saying, oh, Kabir, Kabir. Imagine getting to that. There's us day and night saying, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, come on, Vaheguru, are you there? You know, there's us going crazy day and night, trying our best, getting up in the morning, doing our abhyas, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Kabir just saying, I've got God chasing me, saying my name. So when does that happen? That happens when we get closer and we start and we learn the art of true listening to that creator that is communicating to us. Bhagat Ji tell us that. Bhagat Namdev Ji tell us that Sabe Kat Ram Bole. Ram Bole. Ram Bina Ko Bole Re. So Bhagat Namdev Ji Sabe Kat Ram Bole, Rama Bole, Ram Bina Ko Bole Re. Saying within each and every cut, at the core of everything is speaking that one. But it was my noisy mind. It was my impure mind that wasn't letting me connect to that one, that Saibhan, where that knowledge sits inside of me of how to go about in this creation. Because think about it. Of course, we've got to contemplate, read Gurbani, so we can learn about how to live better in this world, in this life. The Guru tells us. The Guru tells us that if you do these certain things, if you slander, it's you that is going to have to bear weight on your head. So Guru is giving us that insight to this creation of how it works. But then we don't listen to that. We then actually do that act, and then it becomes our experience. It becomes our wisdom. And then we learn that for ourselves. When we feel depleted of that energy, we feel that weight on our head, and then we're like, wow, yes, the Guru told me that, and now I know that for myself. I often see it like this. The Guru, we follow the Guru helps us to cleanse. But as we start cleansing via not doing those things that create that veil and makes that veil and that wall thicker between us and that inner voice of Vaheguru speaking to us, then we're not in touch with it at all, that guidance of Vaheguru. But then as we start to purify ourselves, Kabir man nirmal peya jaisa ganga neer, then God starts to chase us. Then there's certain things we may not have read. There's certain things we may have read, but we cannot remember. We wouldn't know intellectually which way to turn during a certain situation in life. But now, because the inside has become cleansed, the voice has become more clear. And now there's just this knowing. That knowing hasn't got a voice like the way we have and the way we communicate. It hasn't got a language to it in the way we converse in a language. It's beyond any voice. It's beyond a voice in the way we know voice, sound, the way we know sound. It's that Guru Nanak Dev Ji said to the yogis as well. When they were asked the question, Tera kavan Guru jiska tu chela? Who are you a disciple of? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Shabad Guru, Surt tun chela. My Guru is that Shabad. That Shabad, that Oang, that is resounding inside of us. Like Guru Arjan Dev Ji told us, Oang Gurmukhi Akara. That the Gurmukhs are the ones that heard the Shabad Oang. they are the ones that connected. They are the ones that started to vibrate within that sound, that uwang sound that the creation is made up of, that is sustaining the creation. That is the intelligence behind the creation of how to actually live. Mine now, my consciousness has become a disciple of that vibration, that inner knowing. You've all experienced it. There's been times in your life where it's beyond your understanding and intellect of your learnt knowledge through your senses, through what you received. It's not even what you experienced from burning your hand from that fire. It's beyond that. It's beyond what your teachers taught you at school. But this is just this inner knowing of which way to turn. Like a very, very quick short story of where there was somebody that was interviewing a woman at work, and she was the perfect person for this job. Everything ticked, all the boxes were ticked. The whole panel was, she's perfect. But there was something niggling at him inside, that everything he had learnt, all his knowledge that he had about what they need for that job, it was perfect. 100% she was the right person. There was something speaking to him because of his own purity. Kabir man nirmal paya, jaisa ganga neer, pache lago har fire kahat kabir kabir. And then God is chasing and saying, no, don't turn this way, turn that way. Don't look at this, look that direction. Go put your foot there. But he went against that intuition because of the pressure from his colleagues, because she was apparently so perfect. In the end, she took the business to the cleaners. She wiped him out and she ran off with a lot of the money. He lost his job over it because there just wasn't enough money to sustain everyone within that company. And then he actually started contemplating, and he wrote an article on this intuition. Where you'll find articles written about intuition is that, like I said, interpretation. You'll find articles written about intuition where people write that it's actually a mixture of what you've learned through your own experiences and this higher knowing. But actually, he writes from that experience, it can't have been from anything he knows and he had learnt intellectually, because that was all perfect. This was completely from a place of a higher communication and knowing, and that became his lifelong journey into then connecting to what Guru Nanak referred to as Shabad Guru. Those times when you just know. You may not know now because of what you've read, but you're about to speak bitterly or put somebody down with your words. Intellectually, you're not sure that's what you're about to do, but there's something greater sitting inside of us. That light which is Saibhan, all knowing, that self-derived, self-illuminated, independent, that inner Guru, Satgur Mera Bemuhtaj. Our Guru that came on this earth, Guru Nanak to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, was independent. Everything they knew was from within. And in the same way, there's an independent Guru sitting inside of us, where there's times we just know there's something starts. And then that can come out in various ways. That could give us an uneasy feeling in our stomach. But that stomach is speaking to us from something beyond physical. There's a language that is beyond physical, and we don't take that step. So let's start walking that direction and getting in touch with Saibhan, where we start to this life starts to become a dance. What do I mean by that? The Guru says, Namo Nirt Nirte, Namo Nad Nade. That Namo, I bow down to that one, that is the dancer of all dancers, meaning this creation is like a dance. Namo Nad Nade, to the sound of sounds, dancing to this vibration, to this sound. When we start to cleanse our mind by following the Guru and starting to carry out those pure actions, the more we start to cleanse, the more we start to hear. Look at the way it works. It's just, I find it absolutely, let's call it Vah, and takes us to that place of awe. So, as we cleanse from the Guru's wisdom, we try and follow out the Guru's wisdom, the stronger that Saibhan gets inside of us, that starts to make our life into this beautiful dance and flow of just this inner knowing is guiding us in life. Let's go on that journey of Saibhan together. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.